Hey Dylan, thanks for taking my call.
Hey Dylan, big fan of the show.
Huge fan of the show. Love what you're doing.
Such a big fan of the show. I'm so glad to have a minute of your time.
Hi, Dylan. It's Robin.
Dude, Dylan.
Look, I cannot help you. I'm sorry. It's not hard to understand, okay? So here's my thought. You would be crazy to think that. Well, welcome into Hey Dylan. I am your host, Dylan Berry, here on the Dylan Berry Network. Very special episode. This is a Survivor preview episode. In 2024, this channel has become pretty exclusively a Survivor channel. Now, that's not the only thing we care about, but that's just been an easy target to consistently go after. And I've had my partner in crime, Richie, along with me the whole way. Richie, we are, I'm going to say less than a week out from Survivor season 47 airing. How are you feeling about that? Amidst fall, right? Everything else is getting started as well.
I'm feeling ready. I feel like football season doesn't feel official until Survivor starts.
Ooh, yeah.
That might be a hot take, but
yeah, dude.
Think about it, because like week one's always usually getting done, and then Survivor starts, and it's going into week two. And week two is when like things actually start happening in the football.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
hey.
True. And then Survivor always ends, too, as football is at its hottest, when it's like weeks 15 or whatnot. Yeah. And it's like, oh, shoot, you don't know how things are shaping out. Guys are getting injured.
Fantasy playoff championships coming down.
It'll be December in no time. Like Survivor and football, like, we were just talking about our weekly, what you're watching throughout the week, because you got Big Brother on right now. That's been on, right?
Yeah, I think we're we're about halfway through right now, but it's 3 times a week, 1 hour episodes. So,
so what's the update? What's the latest? Where are we at? And how are you feeling? Who's your favorites? I know nothing. I've never watched a minute of Big Brother.
So, I mean, my favorite, her name's Mackenzie. I mean, she's former college basketball player, tall, beautiful, but she's also playing a very good game. She actually literally made a huge move, or is about to make a huge move tomorrow night. They kind of alluded to it tonight. But it's been a good season, probably my favorite one of the last couple of years.
Nice.
You got people who are sacrificing themselves and staying on the block up for eviction to try to get somebody else out, and it's worked a couple times, which never happens.
Wow.
A lot of craziness, which I think always makes for good TV when there's somebody who's kind of erratic and you never know what they're going to do. You kind of hate that player, but at the same time, it makes for good television.
So this is an elevator pitch. You know what an elevator pitch is, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're just pitch me on Big Brother. Like why should I watch Big Brother? I mean, I love Survivor, but also like what is it? What makes this show different and special?
I think it makes it a little bit different than Survivor. I think you have to be strategizing a little bit more because you're not in teams to start off with. It's every man for themselves from the get-go. And you can afford to play a little bit more aggressive because you always have a shot every week to save yourself with the power of veto, which I really like. So you can get a competition beast in there, and they can keep winning these, and they're just going to stay in the house.
Interesting. Well, so we're going to get into Survivor season 47, basically get into some predictions, talk about the cast. We only know so much about what's going on, which is exciting. Like you and I just went through Kagyan. We had watched that before. We're going to break down a few of the cast members who we think is going to go home first, who's a fan favorite, who we think is going to outright win. We're going to place a couple bets as we're going to recap the whole season. But one thing we're also going to do is we're going to talk about one thing we would add or change to Survivor. Are there things in Big Brother that Survivor could benefit from? Like you're saying a veto vote or something?
I think so, yeah. You could do something, I think, a little similar to Survivor where you find, hey, this secret advantage or this hidden immunity idol. They kind of have that in Big Brother, but America votes on it, and it's almost kind of just whoever the fan favorite is kind of gets these, and sometimes it gets a little old because it's the same person getting it over and over.
So you vote. You will vote live on Big Brother.
Every now and then, yeah. They'll have this hey, America's vote, you vote for this house guest and they're safe for the week, something like that.
Dang. And none of them have phones or anything, right?
No phones.
You're just in kind of a nice house.
Every week there's 3 people who can only eat slop, which is almost I would say a dull version of oatmeal. They can only have cold showers, and then they sleep in it's almost like a box with these hard beds.
What ends up, how many days is it?
I want to say it's over 100, like 110 or something.
Yeah, do they end up like getting in shape? Is it a little bit like, comfy
So like
prison?
they do work out. Like there's a gym and everything outside. Like they show a lot of times they're just hanging out, working out. You can watch like 24/7 feeds too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never gotten
Um,
into that, but
yeah, no, it's one thing I've thought about with Survivor too, where I'm like, dude, they have so many hours of stuff, and like all these other
mhm,
shows, like have it feels like lots of hours of time you can spend there, and I guess it just makes Survivor special that they just want their cinematic
yeah,
1 hour. But I mean, look, we got a 3 hour finale next week, which is exciting, but is
premiere.
also like, yeah, or sorry, yes, premiere, which is exciting, but is also like, dang, man, 3 hours. Let's
It's
see.
a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. You
I
could
gotta go to
start
bed,
it.
bro.
You could start it an hour after it starts and skip through commercials, um,
hmm
or you could just wait till the morning. But I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough because it'll be probably two tribals. I mean, I don't know. We'll get into it, and then last thing we'll do is we will do new era picks for season 50. We're going to pick our favorite Survivor castaways from season 37 all the way to 46. Teams of six will trade one apiece, build it out, see who can build a better team. And, we can talk about how it would all play out with all
hmm
12 people we end up picking.
Yeah,
Which if I thought about it, I was like, six feels like a lot, but I'm also like, that's the size of a tribe. So, I mean, if you're
it's
going to
true. Yeah,
stack it,
I didn't think about it like that.
so it's like you and I are each going to build a tribe, and we can let
hmm
Jeff, everyone in the comments, can write in their own team, and we can put them head to head, see how they play out. All that and more. It's going to be good. But let's get right into it. Season 47. Do you usually read these cast bios?
Dude, I usually
Because
never do. I kind of like going in blind and just getting their
yeah,
story from them on that very first episode.
yeah,
Sometimes I feel like it can be a little too production-y, but
right.
I do like to hear kind of what they say. And I almost feel like if you look too much into it, you can kind of get a good sense of how people are going to play. And I don't want to know how they're going to play. I want to find out.
Right. And it's like it's funny too because like as we've done this, we're like digging more and more into Survivor, and like this element of it too felt like that because I don't usually read these either. Sometimes I'll
hmm
like scroll through the photos and whatnot, but like I don't know, as now we're in a good era of Survivor, you kind of want to take it all in as much as you can. It is cool to break it down, and it'll be interesting to see how some of these descriptions and phrases come up because we're going to answer three
hmm
questions here. We're both going to say who we think is going to go home first, who's going to be the fan favorite, and who's going to win. And it's all kind of based off of. I mean, I did pretty much skimming. I would read a detail here or
hmm
two and maybe try to decide from there. But we're ultimately going in blind here. We have
Yeah.
no real idea who these people are, what they're
And
capable
the
of.
other thing, like they asked all these people, like, how do you want to play the game or who do you model your game after? And you can have an idea of how you want to play the game. Then
Yeah,
you get on that island and it's probably just a whole another world and
yeah,
everything's moving 100 miles an hour those first couple of days. You have to either lock it in quick or you're going to be not doing what you thought you were going to be doing.
dude, that's a pretty hard question too. I think I would have to have
hmm
like you answer that for me because I don't know who I would play like. Because yeah, you just don't know, and because
hmm
I think I believe that too. That it's like you can say like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
gonna have the confidence of Rob, and I'm gonna have the idle searching of Tony. But when you get out
hmm
there, you might just freeze up, and yeah, who knows?
I never
And
freeze.
yeah, it's funny. We got a lot of interesting personalities here for sure this season. I think they got definitely a very widespread. There are
hmm
like there's like a radio host, esports commentator, and a
Yeah. A couple
podcast
like,
host.
yeah, TV
Professional talkers.
personality types.
Yeah. Michael DeConti, family of the program. People say friend of the program, family of the program. Big congrats out to him, by the way.
Hey,
Just a
family
little,
growing bigger now.
you know what?
Hey.
Big congrats over to Michael. But back to business. He sent me that one of the guys is a podcaster in LA on Survivor who I actually know. I have heard of him. Is one that's like I feel like people talked about, but he was like, "Look, dude, podcasters can make it on Survivor, so there's hope.
Hey,
There's
there's
hope."
hope.
Thanks, Michael, for that hope. He's given out a lot of hope lately, I feel like. Good for that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into the first. Who do we think will go home first? Do you want me to start? Would you like to start?
I'll start with this one. I picked her name is Rachel Lamont.
Rachel. Okay.
Yeah, and I picked her. I put down. She seems, based on what some of the stuff she was saying, that she's gonna try too hard and too quick to show people that she's smart. And I think she might get taken for, oh, she's playing the game too hard, too quick, and she might be the first to go.
Again, it's just so hard. You're just
It
scrolling
is like
past.
we're going off nothing pretty much.
We are going off nothing. I was trying to sit there and really stretch this out. And so here's what I came up with. I went up with Andy. It's a guy from Buffalo. Okay, so I went with this guy. His name is Andy. And the reason I picked him is because he's 31. He says the thing that prepared him most for Survivor was the casting process. The reason why I say Andy is because he seems a little eager. He says that the thing that prepared him most is just the casting process of Survivor. To me, that's like, what? Like, you have to have some life experience that's going to help you here. I think one thing I thought about is we're going to get strength versus savvy, right? Like, and so I see this Andy person, this guy, as someone who is going to probably do the challenge and probably fail at it. And then probably his tribe, I was looking at the tribes and I was like, this one could probably lose. And I could see it somehow bouncing to Andy. That's how I got there. Pick. And it really has nothing to do, like that could happen to any of them. You could, but like ultimately I was just like, we'll go with him. So that's my pick, Andy, and you're going with Rachel. Not a bad pick. And what are we thinking? What are you thinking? A shot on the air?
Yeah, for sure. We could do whoever's goes home first takes a shot.
Okay, but ultimately the bet is, I think they're going first. I think night one, we both episode 1 is the only time we see them, is what we're betting on there. But yeah, then we'll talk about it next week if we want to keep it going. We can roll it. Cool, because remember, then we're gonna start betting.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
So ultimately, this just starts our bets. So, okay. So then, who do we think will be the fan favorite? So maybe not necessarily wins, or you could say this is the winner. But I'll start here. Yeah. I went with Gabe Ortiz. Gabe Ortiz. I'll show you him. Right here. Just ultimately. Okay. Yeah. Gabe. Let's see. What did I say? He's a radio host, 26, from Baltimore. He was asked who. Everyone is asked, which Survivor do you think you'll most be like? He said probably none of them. I'll probably just be myself. And I think,
like that. I liked that a lot for sure.
I think that's a good answer, and it's not an original answer, but it's one that's this guy might not be a super fan, or he is, but he's also comfortable to go out there and play. And I like that energy, and I think that energy translates well to fans, and people see that. And I think Gabe, this one's going to be hard to bet because we'll have to, ultimately come to an agreement on who it is. But yeah, he also wrote something in here interesting, and I also think it'll add to the fan favorite. But he says, "If I get an idol, I'm playing it."
I saw that. Yeah, that was a good thing.
I'm I think you might not, and you might go home with an idol in your pocket or something like that, and it'll be heartbreaking, or you'll play the idol wrong or something. But I think an idol will be your demise now, unfortunately. So sorry about that, Gabe. Who do you think will be the fan favorite?
I went with TK Foster. Okay. I think he was a football player for a little bit. He said, but I think what's going to get him fan favorite, he talked about how his dad was in prison growing up. He beat a kidney disease. I think he's going to be one of those ones. He gets one of those really long, sad, slow stories. And I think it's going to be one of those ones that gets people hooked on him.
Yeah.
I also put in there, I don't want to be aligned with someone who is being a TV character. And I kind of liked that he said that.
Yeah, wow.
Because I think you do get these people that come on some of these shows just to be kind of famous almost. Yeah. And play a role rather than actually wanting to play the game for what it is.
No, that's a great answer. I like that pick. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I just heard from a coworker that I saw it in a tweet. It was just the headline, but it was it was talking about how Strength and Savvy is going to have a twist to it. It's going to be the same thing, but different. And so I'm looking at some of these eager players that I'm like, oh no, don't get yourself into trouble early. But also, I'm looking at tribe strength and who's going to win because, ultimately you got to win that first challenge. Okay, good pick. TK as your fan favorite. Now, who do we think will win? Would you like to start?
I went with Aisha Welch. I think what got me when I asked her who she wants to play, like she said a combination of Sari and Natalie. And obviously, I got a soft spot for Sari, and I really like how Natalie played the game as well too.
True. Dude,
So
Natalie's
fought
a great
from the bottom
winner.
the entire time, physical beast. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that. She also said she wants to find a number one who has blind loyalty, and she said because too many people these days have been getting voted out by their number one allies, and she doesn't want that to happen to her. Which I was like, wow, that's that's something.
We're looking
very
at
smart
you, Austin.
Yeah.
Hey, we're looking at you, Austin. No, that's a great pick. Those are, I see a line here. It says, I don't want them to know how competitive I am because I hope the foundation of my game is relationship building and I don't need them to understand that's my overall strategy. So I think, heads on straight. I'm actually going with Tiana from Hawaii, the flight attendant, the D1 athlete. And same thing like you said. I think Tiana said the right name when it came to who do you want to play like. She said Parvati. And I'm like, all right, so you're D1 athlete. You're a flight attendant, which means you can put up with BS, right? Seems likable. And I also want to say, you said TK and Aisha, we don't know. The best part of Survivor 2 is we're going to learn these names, and it's going to take us a couple episodes, but I feel like we're going to be on it a little better. So apologies for pronunciation. But that's my winner. I think, Tiana, Hawaii, 27. I think it'll be a strong winner. So good season ahead. These people could all be gone before before we get to the merge. None of these people make the merge. If none of these people make the merge, we do like a bottle episode where
you guys can put in the chat what we have to do.
No, we do a bottle stream where we can't get off the stream until the bottle's gone. That's if none of our people make it. I think we could get people to call in, help us out, take shots. $10 donations equal one shot. For sure. I all in all, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. Another thing we were going to cover is what's one thing or idea or change you would make for Survivor, whether it's something about the challenges, something about advantages, something they used to do, something they've never done. Do you have did anything come to mind?
I did too, and one of them is because it's real quick, because we've talked about it multiple times. They need to bring the auction back. Yeah. And I want them to do...
They did 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I want them to do... I put that they would do the advantage very first. That way everyone spends their money. You know what's coming. If you want to go for the advantage, you go for the advantage. If not, you can go for all the fun stuff afterwards.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, the second thing I went with is something... This one I kind of took from Big Brother, is put like a secret couple in the game somewhere. Like last year on Big Brother, Sari and her son were playing the game together, and nobody knew the entire game. Whoa. And they both made it to, I think, the top 8 or 9, which, I mean, it gives it another aspect because you have to fight for that person, but you can't go too hard because people are going to be like, hey, what's up? Why are you fighting so hard to keep this one person around?
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of one thing about Survivor 47. Jeff said is that he was asked in an article, hey, is there going to be a showmance this season? Because Survivor's put together some really great showmances and some really ridiculous ones that were not worth it. But he said there isn't, but there is perception of showmance. People think a showmance is going on, which that enough can rattle a game. Right. But no, it's interesting. So putting someone in, I like that. That's yeah. So obviously I love the live reunion. I would love if they brought that back. That's something I like talking about. Family visits too, and 39 days those are the big 3. Yeah. But if there's something gameplay wise that I think would move forward, something new is, and something I've talked about before is idle consequences, like setting and even I was just started watching Heroes, Hustlers, Healers, and he gets a super idol that's only usable for night 1, and if you don't get to tribal, you get to send it to someone is going to tribal, and I thought that was great. But what I think they need to add to an idol is like if you don't play it or you misplay it, you lose your vote at the next tribal or you gain a vote at the next tribal, something like, because I think like an idol should be like not something you can just kneel the ball with and like just take home in your pocket because you were protected or whatnot, or you used it and no one wanted to flush it, because that happens sometimes too.
For sure.
And like I think resume wise, like people don't bring it up enough, which is, I guess, has to do with the final tribal. But I'm just like, I think it would add an interesting wrinkle to I don't know, put some sort of like risk to the idol itself, not just, I have an idol, I'm cool for a long time. It's like, no, it really is burning a hole in my pocket. I think it'd be interesting. An idol consequence, I think it works well. A beware idol or something like that. I don't mind the beware advantage. I'm actually, I mean, when I watch old Survivor, I don't think, man, I wish a beware advantage was in this season.
No, for sure.
It's not a bad idea. It's just, it is what it is. It's new era Survivor for sure. And I like where their head's at. All right, cool. Now we move on to a Survivor draft. Survivor 50 is around the corner. Recently, Jeff Probst said that it will be returning players. And I love Survivor that they've taken a really long break of not bringing back anyone even a little bit. Sometimes they would sprinkle in people here or there. And we've gotten a bunch of really great full cast seasons of some really new great personalities. And I love it. And so it's made us think. We had a couple ideas for drafts, but ultimately landed on let's recast for season 50. Let's cast for season 50 and use players only from season 37 to 46, because we haven't watched 47 yet. 47, 48, and honestly 49 could be eligible eventually, but
for sure.
For now, this is what we're going with, and we'll do snake draft rules. Richie, I'll let you go first, and I'll try to remember next time that I get to go first next time.
Okay.
But this is only from Survivor season 37 on. 37 was David versus Goliath. And then, of course, last season ended with Kenzie as the winner. So lots to choose from there. And, of course, we're not using season 40, right? From Winners at War.
Yeah.
Winners at War people are out, unless they were from 37 had a Winners at War, but that's probably okay. He's caught up in government stuff. Anyways, what's your pick?
I went 3 actually pre-40 and then 3 post-40. So my first one, I went with Lauren O'Connell from season 38. She was a tall, she was a soccer player in college. She lasted a long time. She kind of played from the bottom. She got too caught up with one of the returning players, Kelly Wentworth, and people kind of put them as like a couple, power couple almost. And so I think that kind of got her on the wrong side of things. Yeah. So had that not happened, I think she could have gone further if she was not attached to her.
I think that's a good pick. My first overall pick is coming from season 45, actually. And I'm going with D. Valladares, my favorite winner probably of the new era. Just because I think the way that game played out, I think she really did have her hand on the on the throat of the game, if you will.
She never was really in trouble, like once.
Never was in trouble, but in a way that was like intentional. It wasn't like she was hiding. She was one of my favorite, and maybe that's recency bias, but yeah, D. Valladares, I think one of the strongest players. And I just, if we're going like these are maybe the all-stars, I think, that's someone I want to see up there. That's a competitive winner. Do I pick again?
Yeah, you go again.
All right. So then 2, I actually go from season 38 as well. Rick Devens. the newsman. I love Rick Devens.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the bottom a lot. He had to fight. I believe, like he like found an idol. Like he was winning immunity challenges. He was hilarious. He had great he has the great voice, and he was honestly amazing on the podcast too when he spent a season on there. So Rick Devens, we love Rick. That's a strong tribe right there. Go a little deep.
When I see a lot of recasts for 50, he's one of the first names I always see up there.
Yeah.
And then another name, somebody that I picked for my second pick, she's up there a lot too. It's actually Lauren Beck from season 39.
Okay.
She kind of was running the game for a while. She lost on fire making.
Yeah.
And I think had she not lost on that fire making, I think she would have won the game.
Yeah.
That kind of goes right into my next one. I also picked Dean from season 39, just because you need someone who's kind of athletic. He was funny. People liked him. And I honestly think he should have won that based on those final three that were there. He made a big move in the last four that I think should have won him the game. And I don't think he capitalized enough on that when they were talking about it at the final tribal.
Dang. He played in a career high 13 games at Columbia University, men's basketball. Totaled career high with 5 points and 2 steals, along with 3 assists in a 9 minutes of action against Swarthmore. Hey, you're right. That's an athlete. Dean, you know what? I think 39, maybe I need to watch it again, but I have I don't love that one. That was Island of the Idols.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there wasn't too many there's maybe 1 or 2 from that season, but yeah, I like Lauren. Okay, so I got 2. Oh man, I love these 2 together too. I think in other drafts I've talked about these 2 people. And I'm going to pick them in this order, too. Number 3 is Carolyn from 44. Love Carolyn. I know you said recently you rewatched the season and she grew on you a little more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because I remember, she grew on me as well. At first, that was not fun to watch. And then then suddenly you were rooting for her. And you were just, it was insane how, vulnerable she got and how just hard she kept fighting. And, yeah, it was... She was one of my favorite people ever, and there's a reason she's going to Traders because
hey, we're excited for that.
That's something that's an all-star pick. They looked at Survivor and they're like, who are some of the biggest, best personalities that have come out of the show recently? Carolyn's a good one, so I got Carolyn there, and then number 4 I got from David vs. Goliath, Mike White. The creator of White Lotus, the creator, and him with Carolyn too. I think I don't know.
She'll be in season 4 for sure.
Yes, dude, she will be in season 4 of the White Lotus.
She'll play the new Jennifer Coolidge role.
Yes, dude. Oh my gosh, I think it's a great pairing just for that alone. But Mike White, a Survivor fan, but also just witty and funny to watch, and maybe not great at challenges, but you can see that maybe he doesn't do a ton of physical challenges regularly, but yeah, I don't know, always great to watch, and I just love Mike White. I think School of Rock is also a national treasure, and belongs in the Smithsonian. Shout out Michael one more time. Smithsonian, Washington D.C. Stand up. All right, your pick.
Okay. My first player post season 4 that I went with was Jesse from season 43. I think he's one of the most strategic players of this new era. And I don't honestly remember exactly how he got out, but I remember that he blindsided his number 1 ally with his own idol. And that was just something that kind of was you don't see that happen ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Jesse played hard. Jesse was a very memorable player that season. That's a good pick. I think Jesse shows up on a lot of lists as well, like you're saying.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a fan favorite. All right, that's a good pick.
And then the next one, this is probably a hot take, but I think there's one player, and it could be recency bias, but one player in Survivor history that I remember that got voted out first that you just remember this person. So I went with Jelinski for my next pick. From season 46.
I'm glad you took him, man. That's like you taking a kicker in round 6 where I'm like, good. Hey, man, I wasn't going to take him. But Jelinski, I bet Survivor would love that. I mean, they love running that guy.
There was one other person. I remember because she was on Philip's season both times, and then she came back for fans vs favorites with him.
Yes, yes.
Francesca, and he kept calling her Francesca.
Yeah. Dude, can we bring back Philip for 50? That's it. If I could just have one choice, it's Philip. Anyways.
It's not a bad pick. But yeah, I think Jelinski would. I think give him another opportunity. I think he'll go a little further, maybe second or third out. But
yeah, Jelinski. That would be interesting to see. Not really. I'm not on that pick. All right, I got two now.
Yep.
Okay, mine both come from the same season. Have you picked someone from 42 yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so I have two from 42 then, I think. Let me look here. Yeah. So I'm going to take the winner from 42, Marianne. I want to see Marianne play again. I want to see her play against a real competitive cast because I do think it was competitive that season, but and she got to the end, but like I would love to see her in the mix there against
I think
all
she
the
has
Wolves.
One of the best final tribal speeches of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, and like she's one that you would think people would say you can't let her get to the end. But
I don't
she
think
is someone you could trust though too.
Going into final tribal, I don't think she was going to get the votes to win until she started her speech.
Yeah. I just and I think socially like she's someone you can trust. She is like, and she's going to give it her all in those
With that too, I think that could give her a good opportunity to play a little bit more deceitfully too, because people are going to overtrust her.
Yeah.
If she wanted to.
And Marianne's great energy. And again, I'm looking at my tribe. Marianne and Carolyn hanging out. D is up there. Like, I think that I'm casting a great action movie, of all these people. And, okay, then let me get my last pick in here, my muscle from 42, Jonathan. I think Jonathan was he went out a little early too. He was kind of a fan favorite.
Yeah.
That season. Would love to see Jonathan back out there. He is someone who I feel like I always see him whenever I see a survivor that's like out and about, like they're playing poker or it's Boston Rob, like Jonathan's there. Like I think Jonathan's in the mix of survivor in a funny way, and I'd like to have Jonathan back. And that dude is a stacked tribe.
Oh, yeah.
That's everyone I wanted. D, Rick, Carolyn, Mike, Marianne, Jonathan. Yeah, that's strong. And I have a few people in the wings, and we can talk about it, once you pick yours. But
my last pick, from season 46, also from the Purple Tribe, Tiffany.
Nice.
I think she was playing a really good game. I think she just got a little too cocky, let people know about the idol. Yeah. Mistake number one, something we keep saying out. Why do these people keep telling people about the idols?
It was the difference in the game, yeah.
Oh, for sure. She's a challenge beast. She was a social beast. I think another opportunity. I think she would do very well.
All right. Oh, and I said Carolyn. Carolyn was from 45, by the way.
Yeah.
45. Yeah.
And I'll say this. To be fair, I didn't know we were drafting a full tribe, but also.
I know, but I just that's how I justified it because I was like, dude, 6 is a lot.
Well, I mean, I only have one weakling on my team. You have a couple, so.
Okay, so in the wings, I had Carson. I had Jake.
He was on mine for sure.
I had Jake from D season 45. Oh, so Carolyn is 44. Yes. Gabler 43. Did you have anyone 43?
Jesse.
Okay. So I had 44. I had 45. Did you have anyone? You had 46.
Yeah, 43 and 46 were the two that I
41.
used.
Did we have anyone 41?
No, I didn't I went through that and I was like, not for me.
Interesting. No. I think that's right. And I had Kenzie also down here in the wings too. But I also didn't give a lot of once I got to 6, I was like, I like this 6, and I was just kind of
I think the only other person I would want would be like Maria. I would really like to see Maria play again as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see Maria play. Carla was another one. Carla was,
she was good.
I'd like to see Carla play
fair.
again. Great. I think a season 50, who knows the next couple seasons if other stars that come up in the mix.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Could Survivor do more than 18 or more than 20? Could they do 24?
I think 24 would be sick for season 50.
24, 3 tribes of 8, dude? That's something. And then maybe both tribes go, the 2 losing tribes go to tribal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you could get people out real quick too.
Yeah, just to see the people. And then, make the first couple episodes 3 hours long while it's big cast. Everyone gets their FaceTime. I think it's good. I think it's helpful. I think if you're listening for season 50, we'll be there. We'll be here. So, all right. Anything else, Richie? Any housekeeping? Arizona State University.
Big game this weekend.
Big game this weekend.
San Marcos, Texas. I will be boots on ground if you're there. You will have already had been there, but hey, let me know.
Look, the DBN is all over the country, and we pride ourselves on that. So
worldwide listeners.
Yes, worldwide. I got to give you like cards or something to pass out to college kids. Be like, yo, you guys watch Survivor? Yeah, dude. Actually, pull it out on your phone, and that's when you show people like, yo, actually, I'm on this crazy. Yeah. No, Arizona State, to pivot a little bit, I want to talk about this because we were there before the first game of the season, and I was talking about how Cam Skattebo was about to have a Heisman season, and I kind of got some laughs. I kind of got some, people not taking me serious. And after 2 weeks, is he one of the best players in the country?
He's a top 3 running back in the country for sure right now.
Yeah, if he did his hair like Patrick Mahomes and dressed like Patrick Mahomes, then maybe he would get the coverage. But yeah, no, guy's playing out of his mind. He's only going to keep going.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's funny too, even seeing like the big Barstool guys like write about him too, because it was like I saw he was getting like attention.
A lot of people are writing us off this week too, so I think that's going to add some fuel to the fire for the boys.
But you said the odds moved to even.
Yeah, they're back to even.
Because I took 3 minus 3 because I was like, you know what? Wow. I think it'll be at least a field goal.
I took an
that was
line
at
this
plus.
morning minus 9.5.
Oh, dang, yeah.
I think it was plus 245.
Minus 3 was plus 110. $25
okay.
wins. Hey.
That's a big unit for you.
Hey, listen, man. Listen, it's a new time. It's a new dawn. And we'll have new episodes of Survivor every week. We're going to cover it. We're going to do episode reactions. We're going to guess. We're going to rename episodes. Do it all.
So far, the record is 4 weeks in a row getting the person voted out.
That was
correct?
You, right?
Yeah, 4 in a row.
Jeez. Yeah, dude, that's a record. Someone's
that was a generational run.
That's huge. Hey, listen, that's huge. Yeah, that was a whole bottle of Malibu for me. That was tough, man. That was tough. But yeah, we'll do it. And we're glad you're here. Richie, thanks so much for being here as well.
Thank
you.
Go
Devils.
Go Devils.
New England Patriots, 20% of the way through their win total through the year. I like it.
I'll try to tell people.
All right, we'll see you next week. We'll see you on the channel. We're talking Survivor.